I stood outside the registry office with my hand inside my pocket, touching the small velvet box for the 10th time. 5 years. That was how long I had loved Lily. Ethan. I looked up and smiled, until my smile disappeared. Lily was walking toward me. But she was not alone. Marcus Reed, my boss, walked beside her in an expensive black suit. I stared at them. Lily, I said slowly, what is this? She stopped in front of me. Ethan, I need to tell you something. My fingers tightened around the ring. Tell me. Marcus sighed. You should hear her out. I looked at him. Why are you here? Lily lowered her eyes. I changed my mind. For a moment, I thought I had heard her wrong. Changed your mind about what? About marrying you. The noise around me seemed to vanish. I forced a laugh. Today? Yes. Our wedding day. I know. I pulled the ring box from my pocket and stared at it. You promised me. I know. You said we would build our future together. I believed that before. Before what? She finally looked at me. Before I realized I was tired. My throat felt dry. Tired of me? Tired of waiting. Marcus stepped forward. Ethan, Lily deserves a better life. I looked at him. A better life? Yes. Security. Comfort. Opportunities. So you mean money? Marcus smiled faintly. I mean everything you cannot give her. I looked back at Lily. Is that what you want? She nodded. I want a life where I don't have to worry about tomorrow. I swallowed the pain rising in my chest. I worked for you both, I whispered. I worked late because I wanted to save enough for our home. Lily shook her head. That was never enough. Why didn't you tell me? Would it have changed anything? Yes. You always said, soon, Lily. Just give me more time. I looked at Marcus. So this is why you brought her here? Marcus answered calmly. I offered her a future. And she accepted. Yes, Lily said. I waited for myself to beg. I waited for anger. Instead, I felt something inside me become strangely quiet. I opened the ring box. Then I closed it. Fine. Lily blinked. Fine. I won't stop you. Ethan, you made your choice. Marcus looked almost disappointed. You're not going to fight for her? I met his eyes. No. He laughed softly. That is exactly why she chose me. I put the ring box back into my pocket. Then congratulations. I turned away. Lily called after me. Ethan, wait. I stopped but did not turn. I'm sorry. I closed my eyes. So am I. Then I walked away. By the afternoon, I was back at the office. Marcus called me into his room. Close the door. I did. He leaned back in his chair. You looked pathetic this morning. I said nothing. Lily made the right decision. I didn't ask for your opinion. His smile vanished. You're still my employee. I know. And don't forget who signs your paycheck. I turned toward the door. Can I leave? Not yet. He pushed a folder across the desk. Finish these accounts tonight. I picked it up. You're giving me extra work? Think of it as a lesson. A lesson about what? Knowing your place. I stared at him, then opened the folder. My name was printed across several financial documents. I frowned. Why is my name here? Marcus suddenly became silent. I turned another page. There were payments I had never approved, transfers I had never made, and signatures that looked disturbingly similar to mine. Marcus, I said, what is this? He stood. Close the folder. Who made these transactions? I said close it. My heart began pounding. Why are these accounts connected to me? Marcus stepped closer. Be careful, Ethan. I looked at the documents again. For the first time that day, I felt something stronger than heartbreak. Fear. If those records were real, I could lose my job, my reputation, my future, and maybe even my freedom. Someone had used my name. And I had a terrible feeling that Lily choosing Marcus was only the beginning. I spent the entire night studying the documents Marcus had given me. Every page made my stomach tighter. The payments were real. The signatures looked like mine. But I had never approved a single transfer. At 7 the next morning, I called Marcus. Come to my office, he said. I walked in and placed the folder on his desk. You used my name. He did not even look surprised. Be careful with your accusations. I checked the transaction numbers. They all lead to accounts connected to you. Marcus leaned back. And you used my work to hide your crimes. His expression hardened. You're smarter than I thought. So you admit it? I admit nothing. Then explain the signatures. He smiled. You signed them. I didn't. Can you prove that? I froze. He stood and walked toward me. You have spent 5 years working under me. Every system, every password, every financial report passes through your hands. You planned this. I prepared for every possibility. I stared at him. Did Lily know? His silence answered me. I felt something inside me break again. She knew? Marcus shrugged. She knew enough. I found Lily that evening. She was waiting outside a luxury restaurant. Lily. She turned. Ethan, why are you here? You knew? Her face changed. Knew what? About Marcus using my name. She looked away. I didn't understand everything. But you knew something was wrong. She remained silent. Why? She finally whispered. Because Marcus promised me everything. I laughed bitterly. Everything. A beautiful house. Travel. Security. A life without worrying about money. So you traded me for that. I was tired of struggling. I was building a life with you. You were always building, she said. I wanted to live. Her words hurt more than I expected. I hope you enjoy it. I walked away before she could answer. The next morning, Marcus called me again. You're finished here. I placed my resignation letter on his desk. No. He looked at it. You think resigning protects you? No. I think staying makes me easier to destroy. He smiled. I can ruin your career. Maybe. I can make every company believe you're a criminal. Maybe. You're walking away from everything. I looked him straight in the eyes. You already took everything. I left before he could answer. That night, Daniel found me sitting in my apartment. You resigned? Yes. You should have stayed and collected evidence. I had evidence. Then fight. I don't know where to start. Daniel slammed his hand against the table. Start with Marcus. I shook my head. You're angry. Of course I'm angry. He's destroying your life. My life was already destroyed. Daniel stared at me. You can't let him win. I don't know if I can win. He softened. Then let me help. I looked at my younger brother. Thank you. My best friend Grace visited the next day. She sat across from me and quietly said, Daniel told me everything. I don't want to talk about it. Then don't. She pushed a cup of coffee toward me. But listen to me. I looked up. Revenge won't repair your heart. I know. Then don't let Marcus become the center of your life. I gave a tired smile. It's hard. I know. For several weeks, I barely left my apartment. I ignored calls. I stopped checking social media. I could still hear Lily's voice in my head. I wanted to live. Some days I was angry. Other days I was ashamed. Mostly I felt empty. Then one rainy afternoon, I walked into a quiet cafe. I sat alone near the window. Are you Ethan Carter? I looked up. A woman stood beside my table. She wore a simple gray coat and carried a laptop. Yes. I'm Sophia Bennett. I frowned. Do I know you? No. She smiled. But I've seen your financial reports. I almost laughed. Then you know I'm probably unemployable. I know you're talented. That isn't what the news says. I don't care what the news says. She sat down. You need work. I do. I have a small consulting project. I stared at her. Why offer it to me? Sophia studied my face. Because you're carrying more pain than you're admitting. I looked away. And you think a job fixes that? No. She opened her laptop. But it might remind you that your life isn't over. For the first time in weeks, I felt something unfamiliar. Not happiness. Not hope. Just a small reason to keep moving. I looked at her offer. Tell me about the job. I started working with Sophia the following Monday. The project was small, but she treated it seriously. You don't need to impress me, she said during our first meeting. I thought that was the point of consulting. She smiled. The point is solving problems. I opened my laptop. Then give me the problem. For the first time in months, I felt useful again. Sophia never asked about my salary. She never asked what car I drove. She never asked what I could buy. Instead, she asked questions that made me think. Why did you choose this strategy? Because the numbers suggest the company is expanding too quickly. And if you're wrong, then I'll be responsible for proving it. She smiled. You always answer like that? Like what? Like someone who has already learned not to make excuses. I looked at her. Life taught me. Someone hurt you. I hesitated. Yes. You don't have to explain. That simple sentence surprised me. Lily had always wanted explanations. Sophia respected silence. Weeks passed. We worked late, argued over numbers, laughed about small mistakes, and slowly became comfortable around each other. One evening, Sophia closed her laptop. You're different now. How? You don't look like you're waiting for someone to tell you that you're worthless. I smiled. Maybe I'm starting to believe otherwise. I knew you would. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Lily. Asterisk, I heard you left your job. Are you okay? Asterisk. I stared at it. Another message arrived. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I almost laughed. Sophia noticed. Bad news. Old news. Do you want to answer? No. Why not? Because she isn't asking if I'm okay. Sophia raised an eyebrow. What is she asking? Whether I'm still miserable. Sophia nodded. Then silence is an answer. I turned my phone face down. Lily sent 3 more messages. I ignored all of them. A week later, another headline appeared online. Marcus Reed and Lily Carter confirm relationship. I stared at the screen. Sophia walked in. You saw it? Yes. How do you feel? I thought for a moment. Nothing. She smiled. That's progress. It still hurts. Those things can both be true. I looked at her. You understand people unusually well. I've had practice. What kind of family did you grow up in? Sophia became quiet. Then she closed the door. My family owns Bennett Capital. I blinked. The investment group? Yes. I stared at her. That's one of the largest investment groups in the country. I know. You're joking. No. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted you to work with me because of who I am, not because of my surname. I leaned back. So this entire project was legitimate, and you could have hired anyone. I chose you. Why? Because you're good. Those 2 words meant more than they should have. Then Sophia took a breath. There is something else. I immediately became cautious. What? My family is fighting over control of the company. How does that involve me? My grandfather's estate created a legal condition. What condition? She looked directly at me. I need to be married. I almost choked on my coffee. Excuse me. I need a husband. Sophia, you barely know me. I know enough. No. She frowned. You haven't heard the proposal. I heard the important part. She almost laughed. It's a legal arrangement. That doesn't make it less crazy. If I marry someone outside the family, my position becomes stronger in the dispute. And you want me? Yes. Why? Because I trust you. I stood. You're asking a stranger to marry you for business? I am. That sounds insane. Perhaps. I shook my head. I can't do this. You're refusing? Yes. Sophia nodded calmly. I expected that. You did? Yes. Then why ask? She looked at me for several seconds. Because sometimes the people who have been hurt the most are the ones who understand the value of a promise. I had no answer. She gathered her papers. You don't have to decide today. I watched her leave. For the first time since Lily abandoned me, someone had asked me to become part of her future. Not because of my money. Not because of my status. Because she believed I was worth trusting. And somehow, that frightened me more than losing everything ever had. I stared at Sophia's proposal for 3 days before calling her. I'll do it. There was silence. You're serious? Yes. But I need one thing. What? This stays a legal arrangement. Sophia answered calmly. Agreed. We registered our marriage 2 days later. There were no flowers, no guests, and no promises spoken in front of a crowd. Just 2 signatures, a government stamp, and the strange feeling that my life had changed again. Outside the office, Sophia stopped me. One rule. I looked at her. Neither of us lies to the other. That's it. That's everything. I nodded. Then I agree. When I moved into Sophia's home, I realized I had badly underestimated her. This place belongs to you. Yes. I stared at the huge house. You said it was your home. It is. You forgot to mention it was a mansion. I had spent years worrying about rent, groceries, and saving for a modest apartment with Lily. Now I was standing inside a house with marble floors, private offices, and enough rooms to make me lose count. Yet Sophia looked completely comfortable, as if none of it mattered. For some reason, I suddenly felt like a guest in my own marriage there already. She laughed. You never asked. Her father, Victor Bennett, met me that evening. He shook my hand firmly. So you're Ethan? Yes, sir. I've heard good things. I glanced at Sophia. From her. Mostly. Sophia rolled her eyes. Dad. Victor smiled. Relax. I'm not here to interrogate you. He looked at me seriously. My daughter is preparing to take control of Bennett Capital. That means her life is complicated. I understand. Do you? I'm learning. He laughed. I like honest answers. After he left, I looked at Sophia. You're really taking over the company? I'm trying. You never mentioned how serious this was. You never asked. I smiled. You're going to use that sentence forever, aren't you? Probably. Living together was awkward at first. We had separate rooms. We knocked before entering. We sometimes ate dinner without speaking. One night, I found Sophia working at 2 in the morning. You're still awake? She looked at her laptop. I have a board meeting tomorrow. You should sleep. I will when I finish. You said that 2 hours ago. She raised an eyebrow. Are you my husband or my doctor? Neither. I'm your cook. You cook. Better than you. She laughed. That sounds impossible. I went downstairs and made noodles. When I returned, she stared at the bowl. You actually made this? Yes. She tasted it. Then she nodded. Not terrible. Not terrible. Don't get excited. I smiled. A few nights later, I couldn't sleep. I walked downstairs and found Sophia sitting in the living room. You're awake too? She looked at me. You couldn't sleep. It wasn't a question. No. Thinking about Lily? I froze. Sometimes. Sophia moved aside. Sit. I sat beside her. Do you regret marrying me? No. Even though this started as a business arrangement? She thought for a moment. No. I looked at her. Why? Because I like having you here. My chest tightened. I quickly looked away. Your coffee still tastes terrible. She laughed. That's what you say after I compliment you. You called my cooking not terrible. That was high praise. I laughed. A real laugh. Not the fake laugh I had used around Lily. Sophia stared at me. What? Nothing. You're looking at me strangely. I haven't heard you laugh like that before. I smiled. Maybe I forgot how. Meanwhile, Lily heard the news. I was married. Apparently, she refused to believe it. When she saw one photograph from the registry office, she told everyone. Ethan married Sophia just to make me jealous. I heard about it from Daniel. She thinks your marriage is fake. I shrugged. Let her think that. She says Sophia is probably pretending to. I looked toward the hallway, where Sophia was working. Maybe Lily should meet my wife. Daniel went silent. Wait, you actually call her your wife? I smiled. For the first time, it doesn't feel strange. But I didn't know yet that Lily was about to discover exactly who Sophia Bennett really was. The first time Lily called my marriage fake, she did it in front of 20 investors. She smiled at me and said, Ethan, everyone knows you married Sophia for money. The room became silent. I looked at her. Are you finished? She laughed. You don't have to pretend anymore. Marcus stood beside her. She deserves to know the truth, he said. I looked at him. You should worry about your own truth. His smile disappeared. Sophia stepped beside me. My husband doesn't need to prove anything to you. Lily stared at her. Your husband? Yes. Marcus scoffed. You married him for business. Sophia calmly replied. Even if I did, that would still be none of your business. A few investors exchanged uncomfortable looks. I leaned toward Sophia. Let's leave. She nodded. Outside, she asked, Are you angry? Yes. Are you going to confront them? No. Good. I looked at her. I want evidence, not revenge. Victor joined us later that evening. I've been reviewing Marcus's companies, he said. And he moved money through several shell accounts. I frowned. Can we prove it? We can if we find the original records. Sophia opened her laptop. Then let's find them. For the next week, we worked quietly. Bank transfers, invoices, fake consulting contracts. Every document connected another piece of the puzzle. Then Ryan Reed contacted me. Ethan, I need to talk. I met him in a parking garage. He looked terrified. Marcus is going to blame everything on me. What did you do? Nothing illegal. Then why are you afraid? Because Marcus has been preparing documents with my name on them. I stared at him. Why help me? Because I don't want to go to prison for his crimes. He handed me a thick envelope. What's inside? Original contracts, payment records, emails. I opened the envelope. My heart began racing. These prove Marcus planned everything. Ryan nodded. He wanted you blamed because you were close enough to the transactions. And Lily. Ryan lowered his eyes. She was part of the distraction. I felt my stomach tighten. What do you mean? Marcus knew you loved her. He knew you'd be devastated if she left you. So he used her. Yes. And she knew? Ryan hesitated. She knew Marcus was using your identity. I closed my eyes. Did she know everything? No. But she knew enough. I returned home with the documents. Sophia was waiting. What happened? I placed the envelope on the table. We have the evidence. She opened it. After reading several pages, she whispered, He planned this from the beginning. I nodded. He wanted Lily to keep me emotionally distracted while he used my identity. Sophia looked at me. And Lily chose him anyway. Yes. The next morning, Lily came to my house. I need to talk to you. I opened the door, but didn't invite her inside. What do you want? I know the truth now. About Marcus? She nodded. I knew he was using your name, but I told myself it wasn't serious. I stared at her. You knew? I was afraid of losing the life you promised me. So you chose luxury over me. Her eyes filled with tears. I was selfish. You were. I thought I could fix it later. You couldn't. I know. She wiped her face. Ethan, I'm sorry. I said nothing. Please forgive me. I looked at the woman I had once planned to marry. I forgive you. She looked surprised. You do? Yes. Then can we? No. Her voice broke. Why? Forgiving you doesn't mean forgetting what happened. I understand. You made your choice. She nodded slowly. I wish I hadn't. I looked toward the house. Sophia was standing in the hallway, watching silently. Lily followed my eyes. She's really your wife? I answered without hesitation. Yes. Lily lowered her head. I understand now. She turned away. I closed the door. For the first time, I didn't feel hatred toward her. I felt closure. But the evidence against Marcus was finally complete. And now, I was ready to make sure he answered for everything he had done. Marcus's empire collapsed faster than I expected. Ryan cooperated with the investigators. Victor withdrew every connection his company had with Marcus. Within days, banks froze accounts, investors demanded answers, and Marcus's offices became almost empty. One afternoon, I watched the news with Sophia. The investigation is expanding, she said. I nodded. He built everything on lies. Sophia looked at me. And you? What about me? You're still thinking about Lily. I sighed. Maybe. That evening, Lily came to see me. She looked completely different. No expensive dress. No confident smile. Just a tired woman standing outside my door. Can we talk? I stepped outside. What do you want? I wanted to say goodbye properly. I remained silent. She looked down. I lost everything. I heard. Marcus promised me a beautiful life. And you believed him? Yes. She swallowed. I thought money was more important than love. I felt a familiar pain in my chest. Now you know it isn't. I know. She looked into my eyes. I regret choosing him. I said nothing. I regret leaving you at the registry office. My mind immediately returned to that morning. The ring in my pocket. Her standing beside Marcus. Her words. I'm tired of waiting. For a moment, the old pain returned. I closed my eyes. Lily whispered, Do you still remember? Yes. I remember too. She stepped closer. Ethan, can you give me another chance? I stared at her. There was a time when those words were everything I wanted. Now they meant almost nothing. I forgive you. Her eyes filled with hope. Then, but I can't go back. Her face fell. Why? Because I don't want to live in that past anymore. I can change. I believe you. Then why won't you take me back? Because forgiveness isn't the same as returning. She started crying. I destroyed us. Yes. I thought I could always come back. You were wrong. She covered her face. I really lost you. I looked away. You lost the version of me who was willing to wait forever. She cried harder. I wish I had understood your worth. I wish you had too. She wiped her tears. Is it because of Sophia? I hesitated. No. Then is there someone else? I looked at her. Yes. Her eyes widened. I understand. She walked away slowly. I watched her disappear down the street. I didn't feel victorious. I didn't feel happy. I only felt free. Ethan. I turned. Sophia stood behind me. Are you okay? I nodded. I think so. She came closer. Was that Lily? Yes. Did she ask you to return? Yes. Sophia looked away. What did you say? No. She was quiet. Are you sure? I smiled. For the first time, I'm sure. She looked at me. Why? I took a breath. Because I finally realized something. What? You weren't the person who saved me from Lily. Sophia waited. You were the person who helped me find myself again. Her expression softened. Ethan, I've been afraid to say this. Say what? I stepped closer. I love you. She froze. I continued before fear could stop me. I know our marriage started as an arrangement. I know we promised not to lie. So I won't hide this anymore. Sophia's eyes became wet. You love me. Yes. She smiled through her tears. I was wondering how long it would take you. I laughed. You knew? I hoped. She reached for my hand. So what happens now? I looked at our joined hands. For the first time, we choose each other. She squeezed my fingers. Then let's start again. I smiled. Not as Lily's abandoned boyfriend. Not as Marcus's employee. Not as a man trying to prove his worth. I was simply Ethan. And I had finally found someone who saw me before she saw everything I could become. Sophia and I sat together on the balcony that evening. I looked at her. There's something I want to ask. She smiled. What? Why did you really propose to me? She became quiet. Because of Marcus. I frowned. What do you mean? When I first learned what he was doing, I realized you were in danger. You knew about him? I suspected something was wrong. I didn't know everything. She took a breath. I thought marrying you could give you protection while we investigated. So the marriage was partly about saving me? Yes. I stared at her. Then when did it change? She smiled softly. When I got to know you. I waited. You remember the employee Marcus blamed for his mistake? Yes. You defended him. He was innocent. You could have stayed quiet. I couldn't. Sophia nodded. That was the first time I noticed you. I smiled. There were other times. Like when you refused to take credit for another employee's work. I remember. And when you stayed late to help people who were struggling. That was just my job. No. She shook her head. That was you. I looked down. You saw all that. I saw more than you realized. She touched my hand. I saw you lose your job without becoming cruel. I saw you lose Lily without becoming bitter. I saw you lose almost everything and still refuse to become someone you hated. My throat tightened. When did you stop seeing this as a contract? She smiled. Long before you did. I laughed softly. You should have told me. You weren't ready. Maybe I wasn't. She squeezed my hand. And now? I looked into her eyes. Now I'm completely in love with you. She smiled. I know. You're very confident. I married you. I have to be. We both laughed. The next morning, I asked Sophia to get dressed. Where are we going? You'll see. She looked suspicious. Ethan, what are you planning? Nothing dangerous. That doesn't answer my question. I smiled. Trust me. When we stopped outside the registry office, Sophia stared at the building. Why are we here? I took a small box from my pocket. Her eyes widened. Ethan, do you remember this place? Yes. This is where my old life ended. She looked at me quietly. And now? I opened the box. Inside was a new ring. This is where I want my new life to begin. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. You brought me here to propose? Yes. She covered her mouth. I thought you said our marriage was enough. It was. Then why? Because the first time, I married you because we needed a legal arrangement. I stepped closer. This time, I want to choose you. She stared at me. No business. I shook my head. No protection. I smiled. No revenge. Her tears fell. Then why? Because I love you. She laughed through her tears. You really planned this? For once, I planned something perfectly. She looked at the ring. Ethan. Yes. You already know my answer. I still want to hear it. She held out her hand. Yes. I slipped the ring onto her finger. Then she pulled me into a hug. For a moment, I closed my eyes. I remembered standing in that same place months earlier, holding a ring that had suddenly become meaningless. I remembered Lily walking away with Marcus. I remembered thinking my future had disappeared. But I had been wrong. I hadn't lost my future that day. I had lost someone who was never meant to be part of it. Sophia rested her head against my chest. What are you thinking? That I used to believe losing Lily meant losing everything. And now? I looked at my wife. Now I know losing her was the beginning of finding myself. Sophia smiled. And finding me? I kissed her forehead. That was the best part. She laughed. You're becoming romantic. Don't tell anyone. Too late. We walked toward the registry office together. This time, I wasn't following someone else's choice. I wasn't begging to be chosen. I wasn't trying to prove that I was worthy of love. I already knew my worth. I had chosen Sophia, and Sophia had chosen me. For the first time in my life, that was enough.